Hey all, Lawrence from Express Unity, and today we're going to be continuing our multiplayer survival game. Where we left off is we ended up doing health for our our trees and environmental props that will give us wood and cloth or whatever in return. And we ended up leaving the video with that incomplete and not really working correctly. So it has been a little bit since I've opened the project, as I've just been busy with work and a personal project. But coming back and looking at the code, I'm not really too happy with it, and I'm going to change it. So in our player data, we have all these statics, and we don't want them to be static anymore, like so. So just remove that. We can keep this fixed update for all the UI and whatnot. And going back to our health, we are going to just comment out everything that set these static variables before. Alrighty. That looks like it's everything. Now, how I'm thinking about doing this is, instead of the tree or the or whatever you're hitting doing its own damage calculation, I'm thinking that we'll get the player to collide with it or hit it, or whenever we get to that stage. So any of this collision stuff that we currently have, we are just going to comment it out. I think that's the only one that we do have. Okay, and what we want, so we have a public remove health, so that is fine. So in our player data, what we might do is say void on collision enter, and we'll say if collision dot game object dot get component, and if it has a health, then we can continue on. Now that's not really the only thing we want to check for. What I was going to do is make this health script shared, so basically this health would also be applied to our player. So anything that needed health, we just needed to reuse the same script, but maybe we have a different health script too for players. Just trying to think what. Yeah, look, you know what? Let's do it like this. And then basically when we collide with it, we first let's just get a reference to it. Oops. So let's just say health h equals, and then collision.game object. Now we should be able to just say h.remove health, and we'll just remove 25, I think that's what it was. And now what we want to do is just think here for a moment. So we want to remove health. We were doing all of the adding on the health script itself, but I don't think. Nah, we wanna move all this over to our player data. So how can we do that? So we remove the health. So this calls this, which will synchronize it across everyone. So I'm thinking okay, just for now, let's copy this switch and just paste it. Let's place it below the remove health, and here we're gonna say h.type, and then we is this. Let's go back to health and Okay, so what we want to do is just say health dot object type, and then we just do the same like so. We just do this, and then this one is gonna be dot cloth, and then we just want to say wood plus equals 1 and cloth plus equals 1. Now, what we're also going to do is we'll say something like, yeah, what can we do? If h dot health is less than, let's say 30. So we want to else that. So if it's greater than 30, we do this. Oops. Otherwise, we're just gonna copy the same thing, but we're gonna give it a little boost. So we'll get 50 wood and maybe 3 cloth. Alrighty, and then all the code to destroy the object and whatnot should be on the health script. Okay. Another thing that we need to do actually, so let's see. So in the resources, we should have our, so get our trees. Okay, and looks like, yeah, we have health on this one. And it's just compiling, let it compile. Okay, and now we want, what tree is this one? I think there might be, we might end up getting an issue from this one because the collider is on a child, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, so on our photon view, what we want to, okay, we can't change it at the same time. What we want to change is this owner. We want it from fixed to take over for both of these. Anything that's gonna have this health script on it needs to be set to take over. Because what happens is the first player that joins the game is basically the owner of the entire scene. What that means is anyone who attempts to delete this game object will end up, basically the server will refuse the command to delete that object. And the reason for that is because they're not the owner of that object. So what we want to do is say, in the collision here, we want to say, what can we do actually? Let's make a new RPC. Just trying to think. I don't think it needs to be an RPC, so we'll just make public void and we'll make the new function take over. And then what we can do is say photon view dot I think it's request ownership. Depending on the photon's ownership transfer setting, any client can request to become owner of the photon view. Wait, is it takeover? No. Transfer ownership. Transfers the ownership of this photon view and game object to another player. Okay, so maybe this is the one we want. Let's see what we need to give it. So we want to give it an owner ID. Okay, we'll try this one out. So let's go int and we'll call it ID. And this was an int, yeah? So let's just pass that as ID. And now let's go back to our player data. And we'll say h.takeover, and then we want to say photon view Do we not? Okay, so mono behavior, let's change. First we want to be using photon and using photon dot pun, and then it's mono behavior pun, and then we're just gonna get our photon view, oops, all lowercase, photon view dot owner, is it owner? Maybe it's view ID. Let me see. So the owner, what is this? This is the player. So let's see if there is an ID here. Is a user ID? User ID of the player available in the... No, I don't think that's it. So I believe it's view ID. So we'll pass in view ID and we'll see what happens. So if we just join the game, and what we'll do is we'll go out onto the scene and we'll find where our player is. Okay. Where is the player? Alright. The player's there. Let's say that we want to touch this tree here. Currently, the owner... I mean, I don't think we'll see anything here because it's going to be already set to ours. So this is probably going to be a bit of a useless test. Okay. Oh, yeah. So, it was changed. So I think that should be good then. Transfer ownership. It's a little bit weird. Okay, well, it did give us wood, so let's try it. Let's build and run. Let me just change this music because it is it's got voicing in it, and I don't think that's going to be too good with myself speaking. Change it to some ambient station. Alright. Hopefully the ambient music isn't going to take over the volume of my own voice. Come on, computer. There we go. So we'll have both the windows opened. Really need to give my computer a good clean up. There's so many programs on here that I don't use anymore, and it's just dragging the system down. Alright, so let's just log in. It's joined with one and with the other. So before, when we ended up colliding with a tree, I don't think the statistics counted at all. So now if we... Oh, okay. That's a bit of a problem. We don't want both players to... Let's see. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. So because the collider of this tree is actually in a child, it is not going to work quite right. So let's try this one. In fact, it's not getting a value at all. So let's see what we have done wrong here. So the player, do I have one out? No. So let's get the player. So he should have a player data, and that should be fine, really. Yeah, there should be no problems with the player. So I think the problem here might be because we need to say if the photon view is not mine, then we just want to return. And I think that could be our problem. Oh, another thing is the UI here, the fixed update one, it might be trying to get, it might be changing everyone's else's for this, the values of like everyone else's script. So we'll also say that if the photon view isn't mine, we'll just opt out of the fixed update as well. So now that we have that, this should work. And to be honest, now that I've done that, I'm kind of thinking that that might have been the problem all along with doing it how I had it before. All right. So, after we get this health system up, I think we will... What we'll end up doing is making it so we need, like, 50 wood per block in order to place our, any of our build objects. And then after we do all that, we might try and implement some models. Oh, I think it's working. So this tree is counting towards my own score. Please break. Alright, I don't think it's gonna break. That's, yeah, it only has 100 health. And 25 points. That should have broken already. What about this one? Should only be like 3 or 4 hits. Oh, okay. So that works. So that means that we have a problem with the ownership. So because that player doesn't own the tree, he can't actually delete it. So this whole takeover thing may need to what was the first one? Request ownership. So let's try that one. So request ownership, and hopefully that is the one we're looking for. All right. So join random on both, and now I think the one on the left is the owner, so we should be able to oh, okay. Failed to network, remove game object, client is neither owner or... okay. So that wasn't the owner then, was it? I don't know, let's try on this one. Okay. So that works. Failed network, remove game object, client is neither owner nor master client, taken over for owner. That's so weird. Let's see, so failed on network.destroy. So the health has been synchronized. Let's just try this. Let's just say if photon view dot is mine. So if it's You know what? We could also do photon network.master client or is master client. That basically means if we are the first one to join the server, that way we have some sort of like server security where the master client is the only one that should be able to do this destroy. So let's give that a shot. Let's just join in Unity to make sure that delete still does work. It should. Oh, we're on a very steep hill. So let's just try and get rid of this. Okay, can't find photon view of incoming ownership. Yep, that's because it's already been deleted. So, I think this could work now. So we don't actually need to request an ownership over this, since what's happening is the health has been synchronized. So every single script or instance of this health, what it's going to do is it's going to check if it's the master client, and if it is, then it's going to destroy the object. So we'll just save it and we'll build and run. Now I'm doing all this. I'm pretty sure what I had before could have worked as well. The joys of coding. There are so many different ways of doing one thing. Oh, did it not build because it was compiling? Come on. Alright, finally. So with any luck, that should be it. So we'll join random on both. Alright, whoops. So there we go, we have a wood incrementing. And nope. Oh goodness, that's not what I want. Alright, so this one is clearly the owner. Let's see, because this is the tree we touched with the other player. No, the health wasn't changed at all. No, that's not what I want. So let's see. So we have where is it? So we have remove health. Oh, this thing. It's in photon view is mine. So I don't think we need that anymore. We just want to chuck that in like that, and we should be good to go. 100th build the charm. I'll let it compile, otherwise it's not going to build. Alright, there we go. Build and run. Alrighty. Let's hope that this works. So we'll join random. So first we'll try just on the player with all the trees, and he should work fine, hopefully. Yep. So tree was deleted in this client. I believe this is the master client though, so that shouldn't have been a problem anyway. Now we just need to find some trees for this user. We need a fixed jump as well. There we go. Alright, and with any luck, we're incrementing. There we go. Awesome. So we kind of have, I want to say, server authority over destroying those trees, but it's not really since the client still owns it. So technically, it is safer than how we were doing it. But if the client that owns the server is hacking themselves, they could affect the entire map. Though really, there's not really any other way to fix any of that without having some sort of anti-cheat. So right now, it's probably as secure that we could get it. So we can try it again. We'll try destroying this tree. There we go. We have working basic inventory for our items. Awesome. Alrighty, well, I think that'll pretty much do it for this episode. I was hoping to do all that a little bit faster, but I mean, we've got it working in the end, and we end up having some kind of server-side security, if you want to call it that. It's not really server-side security, but it basically means that the master client is checking over and destroying this, rather than everyone getting the same destroy request, or handing over ownership to another client. So this is probably the best way to do this. So that is all good. Anyway, before I leave the video here, I just wanted to thank everyone for the huge amount of support that I've been getting on the channel. I think we have now hit 750 subscribers, so that is absolutely crazy. So yeah, I just wanted to give a big thank you. And I hope you guys are enjoying the content. And yeah, just leave a comment down below if you want to say anything else. Yeah, just subscribe to get notifications on any new videos. I think there might be, let me just think. So I do want to start implementing some models into the survival. So we'll start doing that. Honestly, I think there might be another 5 or 6 videos to the survival series until I'm happy to basically leave it there. So we want to get just some basic items working, some basic build working. And after that, I think it would be like just a good place to end, because I've basically taught you all you really need to know to expand upon yourselves to get your own survival series working. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.